Hello and welcome back to the weekly Oracle card reading with Kylie Savidge Psychic Medium. This is for the week from the 1st of June to the 7th of June 2019. We have our 4 cards from the Wisdom of Avalon Oracle card deck by Colette Baron-Reid and our 5th card by also by Colette Baron-Reid, the Goddess Power Oracle deck. Okay, our first card, our anchor card, is the Novice. Our second card is the Bee. Our third card is the Frog. And our fourth card is the Queen. And as I said, our 5th card is the card I pull. You know, these cards out here in this position, I pull them to offer us, you know, further inspiration, support and guidance with anything that comes up in the reading, and really just, you know, and some extra guidance for the week ahead. And we have Sophia, Divine Wisdom. All right, I really like that we have the Novice as our anchor card this week. We also have a new moon in Gemini coming up this week as well. In Australia, we'll be having it on the 3rd, which is tomorrow. And I'm really glad because May was Mega May on many different levels, and I don't know about you, but I found that it was a very challenging month for a number of reasons, and I'm really looking forward to June being a lot more settled, a lot more peaceful, a lot quieter and a little bit more focused and disciplined. And I feel like the Novice is doing that. If we look at the first week of June as setting the tone for the rest of the month, well, the Novice is a beautiful place to start. And what this reading to me, when I first looked at it, is talking to me about is that there is going to be fresh new energy, there's going to be new ideas, we're going to be undertaking a new project or some new learning, and that's exciting. You know, we can just ask for support to, you know, let the past go and dissolve any and all unwanted energies that may have been stirred up in May, and we can, you know, just look at June as a beautiful piece of blank paper and a fresh start. Okay, so the Novice. The thing also about the Novice when it comes up is I find sometimes my clients might be a little bit unsure or just a little bit wary when they see that card, because it is asking about something new, and it is asking us to embrace, you know, new learning. Sometimes it's a new circumstance. Sometimes it's something that, you know, we're just actually in the phase of opening up to new things and starting to think about, you know, is there anything else that we'd like to do, maybe career-wise, health-wise, or in relationships. You know, anything new and fresh, you know, that we might be looking at for business or finances, or even in our own education. Is there a new, you know, tangent or direction we'd like to explore, or like to take something that's already established take something that's already established in a new direction? Sorry if I'm not making a whole lot of sense tonight. Definitely doing the best I can. Okay, and the thing is, you know, it's about embracing uncertainty and change. The change that we create for ourselves is often a lot better, and the process is a lot smoother, and it feels like we're more in control of things, rather than, you know, being so resistant to change. The change feels like it comes more from the outside and feels like our hand is forced. So just think, if you're feeling apprehensive about the newness of, you know, new projects, you know, exploring new avenues, anything new or any new learning, you know, being asked to learn some new skills, just remember that if we take ownership of it, and if we accept and embrace the change, and if we feel like we have some agency, some power in what's happening, these changes are going to go through a lot smoother than rather than digging in and resisting and saying we don't want to change. I always think of changes like when I'm being resisting, I always see that picture of, you know, a reed in the river. A reed that bends with the water doesn't break. So we need to think about, you know, addressing any anxiety or apprehension we have about change, or about, you know, changes being brought into our life in a little way, or us going out and exploring them. We need to look at our anxiety around that and work on managing our fear and our stress so that we can usher in these changes in a really comfortable way, in a way that's exciting and joyful. And the novice opposite the Queen, that's one of the messages the Queen has for us, is let's have fun with it. Let's have fun with these changes. Let's think about life as the game of life. And, you know, we don't have to do things the way they've always been done or the way that other people do things. It's a really great practice, especially when life is, you know, challenging and rough, to just have a little bit of detachment, just to step back from a situation or a mindset or anything like that and say, hey, perhaps there is a way for us to be playful about this. Perhaps there is a way where I could break this up, change it, do it in different ways so that I can have a little bit of fun here. Or if there's something that, you know, it's not going to be a lot of fun, perhaps there's a way I can do it so that, you know, I can balance the difficult, more challenging things I have to do or things I don't want to do with fun things. You know, so I can make the whole experience is not going to be really trying. The whole experience could be a little bit of fun, a little bit of work. So I would go into this week being curious, writing down those things that you're thinking about. I know I'm thinking about, you know, different things, tangents that I want to build into my career, different ways that I want to explore my creativity. And yeah, of course it can be scary. If I can break these tasks right down to the tiniest baby steps, I can embrace them and I can get excited about the change and I can have some joy about it and say, you know, even thinking about things that are new in a really beautiful setting, that's one way to be playful about it. You know, take your notebook or your phone or whatever to a beautiful park or a cafe and, you know, just say, okay, I'm going to set a time and I'm only going to think about what I need to think about for 15 minutes. And then, you know, enjoy your coffee or enjoy your walk. Something like that. Like just, not everything in life when it is new has to be hard and difficult and challenging. You can absolutely get in there and make the changes that, you know, need to happen or that you feel you want to make. You can find a way to accept and embrace them which works for you and gives you joy and pleasure. Okay, and the B right next to here, I really like that it says luck, industriousness, sweet victory. So it's a good sign. It's saying, you know, if we accept what is, that there's this sense of newness coming about, that it's really going to be good for us. The things that we bring in this month, especially in the ideas that we follow up on this week. The B is also, when it says industriousness, it means take action. So if you can just take a little bit of action on these ideas that come up. No, I have an idea for something new that I want to build into my career. So all I'm looking at doing it this week is finding out where this thing is happening, the cost of it, how flexible I can be about it, and what types of these projects really appeal to me. How I can see it unfolding for me and supporting me in my business. And, you know, are there any great people to work with when I'm looking at this? And, you know, as you said, like, definitely take action and take those baby steps. Yet, you know, be creative about the baby steps. And the bee also, I would like to think of it, you know, those worker bees going into the hive, they have leadership. So we've got the queen here and the queen bee. So there is leadership and support, and we need to look for that as well. But the thing is, you know, the busy beehive of activity, it's kind of a joyful place, a beehive. Everyone has their role, everyone has their job, it's very sociable. You know, bees have time away from the hive, and bees, you know, drink nectar. So, you know, and they're making honey, they're making, you know, the sweetest food that you can find in nature. So there's lots of good things about these changes coming in. And think about the bees. You know, bees also rest. Like, you don't see bees out there on flowers 24/7. So know that, you know, there's times to be, you know, really dig in and be busy and have a lot of activity going on. There's also times to rest. So remember to keep the balance. Okay, the frog. This is a huge theme lately, you know. with the tidying up with, I can't say her name, Marie Kondo or whatever. I tried to watch it the other night, but it had subtitles and I wasn't in the mood. The frog is about clearing out clutter. It is about making way, because we're bringing in new things and we're having a lot of activity and getting busy. We need to look at anything that's going to get in the way of us achieving these new projects and endeavours. So that we don't fill up our plate too much and we have that law of balance in our life. So the frog is perhaps even part of achieving a new goal is clearing the space for it. Like, it can be mental clutter, it can be physical clutter, it can be financial clutter. So we're looking at all the aspects of our life this week and where can we begin to declutter, do some space clearing, even like emotional clutter too, and you know, make way and make room, because this is going to make it easier to bring in new things if there's space for them. When we don't have the law of balance operating well in our lives, and when we don't make space for new things, we end up energetically and physically and mentally and emotionally really cluttering up our lives. And these you know, objects or thoughts or situations, they begin to build up and create obstacles in our lives, and obstacles for the flow, you know, that we need to have happen in our life. The flow of energy, flow of ideas, flow of relationships, all the rest of it. So we really are being asked to do some clearing up and cleaning out this week. Always need to warn you when the frog comes up. This can be an emotional flood too. You might find yourself very teary this week. It can be about releasing emotional baggage. There could be grief in there as well. It also can be a physical flood, so you really need to check your plumbing, that sort of thing, drainage. If you're in an area where you're expecting a lot of rain, please be prepared for that. And that's not to be a dire warning or anything, it's just that that's happened to me before. The frog cards come up and then the person's had an actual flood come through their house and stuff like that. So I always put that one in there just in case. But I really feel like it's more the emotional stuff this week, you know, that's being brought up. So if you need time out to have a really good cry, do that. Okay, the Queen. I really keep feeling like I want to talk about leadership with the Queen. And I really want for you to see that whatever you're doing this week, you're going to have so much support for it. Support from the universe, support from life, support from the Queens in your life. It is talking about friendship, and it is talking about, you know, no woman is an island, and how a Queen needs to have really great allies and really great support. And if you've had a bit of a shake-up or a change-up in the support systems in your life, perhaps it's time to look at bringing in new support systems. It might be a time for new friendships to begin this week, new alliances, new business partnerships, new contacts, you know. You might be establishing, you know, more business connections, or you might be, you know, starting a new course or a new job. So it's looking for a really, really great source of support wherever you're at, and also remembering to treat your friends well, and know that, you know, if you just go off and be a martyr and do everything on your own, yes, you can do it, and yet it doesn't bring as much joy into your life as really healthy, well-sustained, balanced relationships do. There's a lot more joy and a lot more fun in life to be had with really great people. Not a lot of people. I'm not saying run out there and be what you're not. Be extroverted if you're super introverted. But look at, are there areas in your life, especially when we go to do new things, where you can see a source of support and utilise it? Perhaps it's an online, you know, mentor, or online chat group, or online, you know, something online. It's a website. It doesn't have to be direct contact and direct friendships with people. It can be a little bit more indirect if that's what you're more comfortable with. Yet that support is always out there if we look for it, and also if we ask to receive support with these new things that we're doing. Never be afraid to you know, put that in a prayer, or talk to the universe, talk to life, talk to your higher power, and say thank you for showing up and supporting me through each thing I'm going through in my life. And I thank you always for your divine protection and direction. I mean, now that's part of Sophia's message, and that was actually the question I put out this week. was about how might we best, carry out the Divine's will for us this week. And Sophia with Divine Wisdom, and I love her because she looks like a slightly more mature lady there. And that's her message, is that there is support, there is good leadership. We don't have to do everything on our own, especially new scary stuff. And what we really need to do is to connect with our understanding of a higher power and ask for that divine guidance. Ask for, the strength and the power for us to carry out the Divine's will for us in each moment, in each day. You can even ask for a prayer or blessing on your week. And you can even be specific and say, with this new project, I thank you, the Divine, for coming in and really showing your hand in this. How might I carry out your will for me in regards to this project? Something like that. So please don't be afraid. With prayer, you really can't get it wrong. There are some really great guidelines that you can follow, yet it's a conversation between you and a higher power. And if your concept of God is a non-judgmental one, if you have a concept of God as being more like your friend, you really can't get it wrong. Even if you want to look at it, your higher power is your higher self. You're having a conversation with the wisest part of yourself. Just be kind to yourself, have lots of self-compassion, and just open up that dialogue. And I feel like you're all going to see some really great results this week. I'm very excited to see how it goes for you. And I'd love to also hear about how your week goes in the comments. Thank you so much, and many blessings.